It's ILEG Technology Screens, where we make the most advanced, brightest, the most beautiful projection screen paint on the market. I just got finished uploading my videos because there were a lot of them that I had in between doing this project and in between my company. And this does involve technology we're working on because, again, this involves this crystal clear screen that we're working on for visuals, special effects, holograms, all that good stuff. And yeah, you can watch movies off it and all that. That's what it involves. So yeah, we're building these props to put these screens in there. We're going to be having them connected to our PC builds back here. So yeah, a lot of stuff we're going to be working on. Yeah, pretty busy few days. All right, let me see. First things first. What the heck is that? Yesterday I was not feeling too well. Apparently it was not allergies. I actually caught a small little cold yesterday. A little bit of a flu. So it didn't last long because, again, I pray over everything and put it in God's hands, and God took care of it. So it was not allergies. I'm like, I usually don't have allergies that bad. My allergies start off with a couple of sneezes and a little runny nose, and that's it. And boom, all day I'm good. I literally had a flu, a little cold. So it's pretty much out of the system now. Let me see. I wanted to work on my whatchamacallit on this side. I wanted to work on my can't think of the name of it. Shingles, what do you call it? I'm gonna work on that side on that. I'm glad I got the under part done there and finished because, again, and I got to work on some work on the bottom area too. Where's scissors at? Scissors are here. And we got to go order some. I found the plastic. In fact, in the research I was doing, I found the bell that we can put in here. I might put a 3-bell system in here because some of the towers had 3-bell systems. I found the paper needed. It's a clear plastic paper that's used. What you looking for, your fish? A clear plastic paper that's used for making stained glass for windows. Found that cheap, like $6. And the clocks are cheap. They're like something like roughly like $9 a piece. So that's not bad. We need 2 of them. What else we were able to track? Oh, yes. So I need to draw this out now. Actually, the mining cart need to draw, but I was just on camera talking about how making a completely see-through PC case, literally, the Lord blessed us how to do it. So give me about a minute right here, because I got to draw something out here real quick. So technically, if we're doing 12 by 12, we're doing a cube, 12 by 12. A 12 by 12 cube, if you're basically building a square, you're going to basically have to remember, depending on how wide the tubes are, we found plastic clear tubes to build the frame. They're 2 inches, about roughly 2 inches. So roughly 2 inches on each side. That means the bars in the middle have to be 8 in order to equal 12. So we can build the entire frame out of these plastic PVC tubes that I found over on Amazon. Once we get the frame built, then now we have to have some size and walls, which the 12 by 12 screens we use anyway for testing for invisible technology. We can use that too also. So this, and now connected it all together, pretty easy because the screws to connect it together have to be completely invisible. So I looked up transparent nuts and bolts, and behold, they have them. They have transparent nuts and bolts. So we can build the entire frame. Same way we build the frames for these units, except for the difference is on the frame build, it's clear see-through PVC piping. That's all it is. And the piping's about 1 inch high. They're thin tubes, strong tubes that we can actually, instead of using wood, they're see-through piping. Now for the size, we have to literally build a box. We have to build a box in order to put the panels on it. The panels are all see-through, of course, because like I said, the same thing we use for invisible technology, those small square panels, 12 by 12. So we can connect all that on there, and we can use, I got the tools here, I got the rotary tool system, that's what they're used for. I can go in and cut all the holes in, all nuts and bolts, completely put together, take it apart. Also found a power switch that's invisible. They make an invisible power switch, a see-through one. You see all the circuits and stuff. That's fantastic what we need here. So we can literally build the entire thing for probably roughly under 50 bucks. A complete see-through case, and that case is going to be coated, every single inch of it is going to be coated with that new invisible technology. I can take that thing outside and I can game off any panel or any side or anything I want on that screen, visual effects outside, because that technology is designed to read through sunlight. This is going to be a fun build. I'm actually building me one. So yeah, we have now a see-through case. I'm just sitting here thinking like, you know, we're gonna make a see-through case. That'd be pretty cool. And bam, that fast, the Lord blessed me with the schematics and the blueprints, how to put the whole thing together. That fast. We're gonna build one. So it's gonna be pretty cool looking. I was trying to find a see-through power supply. They used to make them way back in the day. These have a see-through transparent power supply. If you don't believe me, look it up. But anyway, we're building our own. So bottom line is, the power supply we have, when we pull the tops off to get to the fans, they basically leave the top area. So what we're going to do is we're going to rebuild the entire top area that will connect back into our power supply with the fan system on it. But that's pretty much all it is. It's just two pieces from left to right. The front piece to the top, which we have to cut to put the fan in. That's all it is. And just connect it right in. So yeah, we're gonna make our fan. We're gonna make our power supply invisible. And this is what I mean at the end of the day. I cannot express this one enough when I say this, that we get certain people that want to come on here and say, oh, I'm in the same category. No, you're not in my category, buddy. I build what I want to build at the end of the day. If I want my case to be completely freaking invisible, I can do that. So, yeah, we're not in the same category. I don't buy PC cases. I build those things. Or I don't even buy screens, we build them. You know how sick this thing's gonna look at the end of the day? It's gonna be completely transparent. And not only that, the screen, the case itself is a freaking screen. And then we can hook it up to another invisible screen on top, and I'll make the see-through speakers that push water. We gotta do something crazy. I want a liquid flow system through it. So we're gonna build that too. So liquid flow system is just a special effect that you would give off reservoir tank, tubing, all that stuff, and a pumping station, which allows us to flow water all through this thing as a design, and the water's all UV glow. Nah, we do crazy stuff. But anyway, yeah. We build crazy stuff. You get to that point, all builders, any builder who's any modder at the end of the day gets to a point where they evolve outside the case. They don't buy cases anymore. Cases don't do it for them. If you're used to modding all your stuff on your PC, everything from the motherboard, everything from freaking liquid cooling systems and your hard drive, all that stuff, you evolve past the case. You can't deal with cases anymore. Cases restrict us. A case makes it so that you have to put things in certain places. You have very few options in there. I mean, I want my hard drive at the bottom. Majority of most PC cases I see, a hard drive is sitting at the bottom. That scares me, because the case, basically, you have liquid cooling system, that's good for your CPU. If you're daisy chaining this, because you can daisy chain it from the CPU to the RAM, from the RAM to CPU, GPU, RAM, hard drive, you could daisy chain it. You're cooling all your components down. But when you got these systems, these AIOs are different. AIOs are just cooling the CPU alone. So your hard drive is in a case that's still generating heat around it that literally can bake itself. Them M2s generate freaking heat. You don't realize that. Them suckers generate a lot of heat. They make, for the liquid cooling systems, they make copper blocks for them. Got to cool them down. If you don't, you're going to have issues. Your system's going to shut down on you. You have to cool your system. One of the things you're going to have to know about if you're doing PC builds is you're going to have to specialize in cooling applications, because if you don't, you're going to have problems. Like the other fellow who doesn't know what he's talking about came in and said, "Oh, you don't have to have a liquid cooling system for the i5 processor I'm using over there. You don't need it for Pentium." Yes, you do. Because if it wasn't such so, these microchips, these CPUs didn't generate heat. Why the freak did they make fans for them? They make a fan for, even if you get a 2-socket Pentium 2 requires fans. Every freaking CPU requires a fan. So why would you put a fan on something that doesn't require cooling down? The refrigeration unit is much better. Why? Because you can run it 24/7. These machines barely shut off. I got machines right now sitting in my home front that's been running for like 2 years. They don't shut off. They stay on. Do I have to worry about anything burning out? No, the things are cooled. So with that being said, yet people have to understand that fans generate more heat. And people say, well, how is that? Because if you live in an area where you have to turn heat on and your apartment or house is hot, guess where that hot air is going? Right back into your machine. Your exhaust fans that are designed to actually suck air in and the other fans to suck air back out, you're sucking in hot air and in a hot environment through a machine that's already stressed out. You're not doing any good in there. You're actually basically going to be burning out parts even faster. You're wearing down your parts. Cooling systems, on the other hand, much better. This is a much better solution. Why? Because it's a refrigeration unit right on top of your CPU. These things, like I said, they never shut off because we don't have to. Not have to worry about the systems overheating. I love open racks because if you got an open rack, at the end of the day, open racks are much better than a closed PC. In a closed PC, you got compressed hot air in there. Now in here, you don't. These fans are 5,000 RPMs. Right now, I'm running 10,000 RPMs on my liquid cooling system alone by itself. So for someone to sit there and say, we don't need all that, there is no such thing. If you call yourself a real PC guy at the end of the day, you would know there's no such thing as not having enough cooling for your PC. The whole purpose is to go berserk when it comes to your cooling. This is an investment. These are your parts at the end of the day. This machine shuts down. This is my work machine. This thing has to be operational. So I have to make sure this thing stays nice and cool. So I'm running multiple applications on here. I have to make sure this machine stays nice and cool. So I can run this thing and it stays on 24/7. Never have to shut it off because it basically never overheats. So when he sat there and said that we don't need all that, yes you do. For any system, yes you do. Because CPUs will overheat. You want to test that theory? Take a Pentium 4. Drop it in a vat of vegetable oil, put a temperature sensor in there, and watch how fast that oil heats up. It'll start to bubble in there after a while because they generate heat. So you have to have cooling on it. When you put fans on a system, and that's something I found out the hard way. I had a system under my table called the Red Dragon, not under the serial killer, but it was called Red Dragon. They literally had a red dragon on the side of the case, and I'm sitting there, I hear this, like, what in the world was that noise? And I'm looking at my desk, and I'm watching my numbers trigger off. I'm like, why? I got 5 fans in this system. 120 millimeter, 5 white fans, and this sucker is speeding up. And I had an MSI motherboard in there with a digital temperature control that in certain areas started to get hot, it would automatically start speeding it up. It's like I had the Batmobile under my desk. So I had to take the PC, stick it on top of the desk, take the plastic I had around my window and tape it around the back of the PC to the window so no cold air would come and hit me, so that cold air could filter back into the PC and out the other end. And then the numbers started dropping. And I go, I need a refrigeration unit for this thing. And then this is how I bumped into these guys at the end of the day. And I started, that's all I use now. So my temperature in here, as I showed in demonstrations, this combination of vegetable oil, I can drop down to 17 Celsius on a CPU. I never hit over 30, ever. You want to master cooling. That's what you want to do. You don't master cooling, you're going to basically, expensive parts, or whatever it may be, you will not have them long. That 5090, everybody I know who has a 5090, and I tell you, he don't have one because he didn't break down the specifications on it. Like, what case are you sticking on 50? Now, 59 is a big graphic card. A big graphic card. So what case are you sticking this thing into? You can't stick that into any other case. It doesn't work. Does it have its own dedicated power supply? What kind of cooling system? I know you ain't going with them freaking stock fans that come with it. I never keep stock fans. I don't like the stock fans. Stock fans, I mean, even whatever you pay for, you got to pay a little more if you want to go higher than 15. But those stock fans at the end of the day, yeah, I don't like them. That's why I changed mine out. These aren't the stock fans. The stock fans that came with these were 15. These are 5,000. But anyway, yeah, I had a couple people I know who had the 5090s. And they go in there and they got dedicated power supplies to them because they want them to have their own power source. They have took out the stock fans. They basically recoated the heat sink, the thermal paste with the heat sink. They put in a more high end, like an Arctic 5 or whatever they put on it to basically control temperature better. They put on fan speed controllers. I would do that. A 5090, I would basically do a fan speed controller to actually speed up and ramp up my RPMs. And I basically would go with mostly, and I'm going with more like industrial fans. Those fans are all black. They don't have any lights or nothing. They're just they have really high barbarian system in them, and they're really it's like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 RPMs. That's really designed for this cooling main part count. I would have that stuff hooked up on it. My system definitely would be liquid cooled. There's no freaking way I'm sticking something like that. I'd be scared to death. And I'd definitely get insurance on that thing. But anyway, no, didn't explain anything about that at all. They threw a couple of specifications. I see people do that all day long on forum sites. Throw a bunch of specifications up there. Where'd you copy and paste this from? What's the breakdown on it? Tell me what you're doing with this. You got to do more than just show parts. You got to show us what are you doing with these parts? How are you modifying this? What type of RAM did you go with? Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But that's how that one works today. Everybody breaks it down. That's like somebody who's a gearhead who works on cars and opens up the hood and goes, look, engine. They're never going to say that. They're going to break that whole thing. Well, I had to go and do this and I had to go do that. And that part right there's from that. But I didn't break down to you where I got that part from. And this was kind of hard to find. I had to go to a garage and come to dump places to get this one over here. And I had to bore it down and sand it down. And they're going to tell you the whole 9 yards and how they constructed that whole thing. Ugh. Even if you just not even doing modifications and you just slapping parts together, you still would go in what parts you chose because all the parts are going to be different. They're not going to be made by the same brand. I went with this particular brand for this because it's such and such and so and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I'm building my whole my see-through case. That's what I'm doing. That'd be sick if we could do that. That would definitely require testing. That would definitely require testing. A liquid wall. That would not be hard to do. That would be interesting. That really would be interesting. Can we build a PC case with a liquid wall? I don't think I'm done one yet. I think we're going to do an experiment. I'm going to do an experiment so you can do one with a liquid wall. We have to do a prototype. And see, the idea now the Lord gave me for the pumping system to put a liquid system through it to light up. We could do other stuff with it. Other stuff with that liquid system. It's a small tubing system. You can put through the whole system, runs a liquid through it, glows in the dark. And you can watch a liquid push through. And it comes out, you have to build your own reservoir system and pumping system to do it. You can do that with that right there. That's a reservoir. Easy. Pumping system. Easy to do. Very easy to do. You have to channel liquids from one section to the next. That's all. It's pretty easy to do. Without the liquid getting stuck. So if you do a loop and the liquid stops there, because yet there's a way you have to figure out how to make sure. That's why if you do a professional liquid cooling system, it has this little tiny fan system in the middle. It's like a windmill they put in the middle. It goes inside of your when you connect your tubing together, it fits inside. So that way it gets nice equal flow for the liquid to channel from one area to the next. And then you have to put in all kinds of chemicals because you can have corrosion build up and all that stuff that can be triggering off. So yeah, it's a maintenance. It's a lot of maintenance, but it's fantastic to look at. Wish I had spent more time into soldering, man. Cause I would like to do invisible. How come no one's made an invisible motherboard yet? See, this is what I'm talking about. They make the same old motherboards every freaking time. Make an invisible one. You know, the modders would love that. Anybody would love that. You don't even have to be a modder to love that. Why come there's no invisible motherboards? They had invisible TVs. They had all that stuff. Invisible phones when that era popped up. All that stuff. That'd be cool. Awesome. Now, would I ever say that his setup is garbage? No, he has a nice setup. It is a real nice setup. But for you to compare yourself to me, you're not on my level. Trust me. The fact that you bought your case tells that. It speaks volumes right from there. I don't buy cases. I got past that a long time ago. I got past buying cases. I've been modding cases out for over 7 years, so I got past that a long time ago. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, I'm spending all this money for cases. I'm like, why can't we just build my own? I stripped down so many PCs to nothing. After you take the whole thing apart, you go, huh? This is it? You never realize you can put a PC in any place. Like that old-fashioned desk they had, an old-fashioned desk up there. I can basically go in there with a saw system and cut that whole thing up and throw a PC in there. But if I don't like the wood to it, like the finish on it, I went to school for it. I went to school how to strip down and restore furniture. So I can take that entire desk apart, strip it down, put that acid on it, strip it down, all the original paint, get it right down to the original grain, and rebuild it and stain it right back up. I spend my days basically learning new stuff. Right now, I'm studying all this history in the medieval era, which I'm finding crazy fascinating. That's what I'm doing. Bam. See? And they say just came in and thought that, oh, but he can only build with boxes. Man, you haven't, I told you, you don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. I'm building me a system for designing a form of underwater city that can be powered off the water, surrounding water around it. Hydroelectric energy turbines. I'm actually building one. So as you can see, I'm not just screen paint. We do everything. I keep my brain quiet today because something else will pop up. Like, we're building this next. I'm building that case. That case is going to be hot. I can't wait. But that liquid wall, that's not too far-fetched to do. Ooh, that would be beast. That would be beast. Okay, so we can't get an invisible motherboard, but we can build a compartment to drop. We can drop a dunk tank for our motherboard. I want my motherboard to be on the vegetable oil. That would be hot. We have to build a special compartment that the rest of the PC stays dry, but the motherboard is submerged under vegetable oil. That's not really hard to do. We'll have to build it. Because there's nothing like to build it. We have to build it and test it. So we have to use the same kind of materials they use for like the glue that they use for basically for PVC piping to keep it from leaking. Because RAM can be submerged in the vegetable oil. Graphic card can be submerged in the vegetable oil. But I want the ability to be able to pull my graphic card out at will if I want to change out. All right, my buddy has a 3D printing shop. I'm gonna walk past him and go, hey, I need you to print this idea out for me. I got a Lord bless me right now with a fantastic idea on how to build the ultimate motherboard cover and cooler at the exact same time. It's in my head right now. It's in my head. In my head. In my head. Told you about the other one. We were developing so much screen paint so fast. And contacted me and said, oh, you think you're God? I'm like, where in the world are we getting this from? No, I serve God. You got that mixed up, buddy boy. We serve God over here. You serve him too. You would have that same skill level too, but y'all don't want to serve him. Y'all want to fight him. So it is what it is. You don't get those blessings unless you basically serve. Don't you want to serve? Why wouldn't you want to serve? You guys, if you want to serve just for blessings, no, you're doing it wrong. You want to serve because Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins. That's why you want to basically serve. Without him, you wouldn't have not the ability to be able to get saved. How far is this going over? Is this going to go all the way over? Let's go over. Wait. You got to put shins start at the bottom. Not the top, the bottom. They got to be at the bottom. They got to start at the bottom. Now we're here. Shingles. Those are shins. I made a funny. Let me see. I want to trim that off a little bit more there. I want this to stick out more. Get some of my cardboard. Our medieval castle. Sorry, not castle. Clock tower. Castle's bigger than this. Castle's way bigger than this. That's when I showed that video of all those pictures of all those people doing all those different mods and stuff. A lot of people do mods outside mods. I've seen some really crazy impressive ones. Most impressed. I never come on in and say, oh, my stuff is better. And you go in full glass, you'll never learn anything. I get some of my ideas from watching other people. Like, that is freaking cool. It's got plants in there. I want a plant PC. Bam, got a plant PC over there. I gotta get my bees, my honeybees. All right, now we start building on our magical enchanted. I got my videos all uploaded and ready to go. So I know some people sitting there saying, no, this video's uploaded everywhere. I'm on right now 10 forum sites. I had to upload to 10 forum sites, roughly 7 videos to 10 forum sites. That was some work right there. And I'm changing how my videos are pronounced now, because I noticed my stuff shows up on Google. So on Google, when someone's searching black technology, now we started labeling our stuff saying by best, most superior black screen paint on the market. So when people go on Google, all they see is that black superior. The difference when people at the end of the day don't like what I just said was, we beat your screens already. You do know that, right? The face look. Stop crying about it. Really, seriously. I'm tired of it. We beat your screens already. You have nothing to show us at the end of the day. How many times I got to explain it to people who make screen paints? So when you see our stuff pop up, and it says most superior, we have tons of demonstrations on every level you can think of. You know how powerful that gamer paint is? That stuff is literally so powerful. All I had to do is paint the side of 2 freaking boxes and put it up there on a $50 projector, and I can blow the heck out of a freaking white wall. Don't take anything dirty out of that. But I can blow the crap out of a white wall. A white wall doesn't even exist next to 2 boxes. That's how potent that stuff is. I can literally destroy your screen's reputation. If I take my hand and I dip it in that paint and I touch your screen no longer functions anymore. Whatever you thought it does, it will not work ever again next to our technology. That's all I got to do is paint a little square, which I did in someone's paint. I painted a square in the middle of the screen. And when that projector hits it, your colors don't work anymore. Your contrast doesn't read. We can read a high white level, extremely high white level on that black technology. That if you ever made this statement ever by saying that, hey, look, my product can make this black screen paint go dark, yeah, that cost you $10 million. That's a heavy lawsuit. That's a very serious statement. Don't be careful about that one. So again, you can't beat us in court. You can't beat us in the marketplace. You can't beat us anywhere at all, period. And if, like I said, I can basically destroy your screen by just taking my hand and it's going bloop, bloop, touch your screen with it, your stuff doesn't work anymore. So anything you said about contrast levels, gone. Anything you said about colors, gone. Anything about ambient light rejection technology, gone. Just like that. You don't even work on projector mapping applications. There you go. There you go. And when you sit there saying, some of y'all saying saving hundreds, how the freak you saving hundreds? You gotta spend money to get that stuff to work. You ain't saving any money. All your projectors and all your demonstrations are very expensive machines. We don't do that. So, nah, forget it. Nah, forget it. Nah. So that's why they get frustrated, get angry, and some of them get mad and break the law. Which we're going to use that as an advantage point to make money off of you. Competition, so-called competition, was so upset that they couldn't compete with us that they literally broke the law. You work for me at the end of the day. You work for me. When you go back and say things about my product at the end of the day, you work for me. Because when you say stuff like that, what people are going to do? People are going to come search us out. And when they see all the demonstrations we do, the stuff that we do that you don't even do, the testing that we do that you don't even do, the customers whose demonstrations are a little better than your own videos, you advertise for me. You work for me. And if one of my people happen to find your video, then we'll see you in court and you owe me more money. Yeah. They get mad over that. They get really mad. They go, darn him. Darn him. Darn him. It would have to look kind of hot if I just left it like that. We can't. It does look kind of hot. Gives me an idea for something I want to build. All right, let's get back to our whimsical world. I got to say that people, every time we get in there talking about screen paints, they get mad. They get really upset. They get mad. Get mad at Mr. Bird. Like, darn you, Mr. Bird, darn you. How dare you talk about screen paints? So, I talk about that from time to time. I'm sorry, people. For people who just want to come over and look at the whimsical, beautiful artwork we should be doing and talking about. Sorry. All right, let me see. I'm gonna hook this sucker up. I'm gonna hook it up. 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 I was trying to do this yesterday. I got jacked up yesterday. Yesterday I got jacked up. We had enough to fit on this one over here. Isn't that pretty cool? Cut that side off. It fit right over here too. Just like that. Oh, bam, over there. The demonstration with the football. Mine's videos were shot like a couple days ago, but I had no time to put in videos in. But yeah, that's how much the impressive picture comes in. We got sport bars coming in to see that. I'm only going to use it for the demonstration. It's 2 boxes and a projector. Can you believe that? That's all we have to do. We don't have to spend any money for any expensive high-end screens or all that stuff to show ourselves like high-end expensive projectors to get stuff to work. A $50 projector and 2 boxes. That makes 50 grand. Because all the sports bars will have our technology embedded into it. That's all it takes. Technology doesn't require for us to have a lot of stuff to prove that it actually works. We use cheap, low-end projectors. Even more impressive. These guys come out of their freaking environment. They got $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 projectors they paid for on a white screen. And we got $50 in 10 boxes. Yeah. All right, so let's get this done. Because right now I'm feeling whimsical. That is the word for the day is whimsical. People. Whimsical. You got to use it in everything you say. You see that tidal wave of blue? Did you see that tidal wave of blue, Republicans? You see that tidal wave of blue? You got crushed. Crushed. You know why? Because the people are tired of it. Come on, man. You're in the midst of a freaking shutdown. All this crazy stuff is going on. Military ain't getting paid. Freaking federal workers are sitting in food lines. I mean, people on SNAP are basically not getting their money. What do you expect? Tariffs are tearing up the freaking company, wrecking the economy. And then you got this guy at the end of the day that want to play God with people's lives. You just see what he just did? He went on there and said, oh, I'm going to abide by the courts. And then he get mad because the states are turning blue. Oh, I'm going to take it away. Like, I'm going to put it back in, but I'm going to take it away. That's what you voted for. And then turn around. You see what he said to New York City? He said New York City won. He was going to basically drop funding. This must be the president of the United States, somebody acting like this. So if we basically vote blue to change things, we'll be punished for it. That's a dictator. That's what that is. You don't get what you want, you don't like it, then people have to suffer. And you have to understand, you're not making just everyday people suffer. You're talking about starving kids. You're talking about kids at the end of the day. We're talking about children at the end of the day. You know what I mean? When you get down to it, you're talking about kids. And if you're that heartless at the end of the day, that you couldn't care less if a baby or a kid starves to death, you don't deserve your skin you're in. That means everybody who's a Republican at the end of the day, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm glad, I'm happy. God is bringing change. You know what that means? Once they control the house, that puts him on a leash. I mean, he can't go out and do the stuff he wants to do anymore. That's why he got away with freaking tearing down the White House like that. That's the first time in history. The first time in history that's ever happened. You can't get away with that nonsense. The reason why he got in there with the Republicans let all that stuff slide. All that bullcrap that went on, they let all that slide. And then got a nerve to get up there. What is it, Mike Johnson, I think his name is? Got a nerve to get up there and talk about how it's the Democrats' fault. It's not the Democrats' fault. The reason why that madman got away with all that crazy stuff because no one put him in check. That's what they're supposed to do. And they let him do what he wanted to do. So that tells you right there you can't trust Republicans from the door. But y'all losing now because you know what? People are tired of it. Even their own MAGA base is basically at the end of the day voting against them because they got hit with that stuff too. They thought at the end of the day that they weren't going to get touched. Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? Yes, you did. You farmers out there came out there and got that 30 billion or something like that dollars, something like that. He for another skipped his own. He skipped his own farmers. The people who supported them. That's the, yeah, and they learned. Now you learn. Yep, you can't be trusted. You can't be trusted. So now y'all got a chance to put a leash on him. And that's what they did. They put a leash on him. He's mad about it now. He's ticked off and angry. Well, that's good. Put a leash on you now. So how we gonna fix this White House thing? Because you can't rebuild that again. That's done. You go back in, you can bring somebody in to go in and fix whatever, this, that, and the other, but it's a historical building. You can't put it back the way it is. You know, if he got any more control and power of the Lincoln Memorial, they might have chopped off Lincoln's head and stuck his head up there. Can't put that building back. Can't put none. It's history. That's gone. That's the people's house. That's not his house. That's our house. The only reason why people vote for that nonsense because they want to feel that they got power and control to do what they want to do along with him. That means you're willing to basically destroy the country and all it's and what it's found, what it's based on, so you can get power. You know, they had something like that happen in Nazi Germany, not Nazi Germany. Something happened like that, and when Hitler was rising up and taking over, and they had to do something about him at the end of the day. And there were people that were rich with a lot of money and power at the end of the day sided with the Germans, because they figured if Adolf Hitler was successful and he was able to take over the world, which he was trying to do, they would be on top of they would be to keep, put it in a better way, they were to keep their wealth, their money, and whatever they wanted to do if they turncoat. Look it up. It's in dark history. I study all that crazy stuff. But yeah, they did. Because they figured, you know, hey, if he becomes the ruler of the world, I'm best friends with the ruler of the world. And there are some people who basically sold out their own country for that power. I tell you, history is interesting. And it does sometimes have a habit of repeating itself. And people saying we're not so. You let a man go on. This is America. If you've forgotten somehow, this is America, and you allowed a man to come out there with a freaking chainsaw and give a Nazi salute right there on American soil. My uncle would have rolled over in his grave. He fought in that war. He'd have rolled over in his grave. So I mean, at 18 years old, when he stormed that beach, and a lot of his fellow members died, and you let somebody do that in our country, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And then you got maggers out there doing it because they think that they can get away with it. Yeah, they found out the hard way. They got fired from their jobs. A lot of them got fired from their jobs. Social media put them on blast, which they should have. They ain't doing that nonsense here. Yep. 18 years old. Fighting a war. He didn't get drafted. It's what he wanted to do. It's his decision. It's what he wanted to do. I asked him that one time. I said, "You drafted?" He said, "No. It's what I wanted to do." He knew the consequences. He knew he might not come back alive. He knew it. He did it anyway. Did it for his country. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about a better career. It was about fighting for what's right. And that's what he did. So when you people do that dumb nonsense at the end of the day, you disrespect our country. That means you need to go. The shingles have to be smaller. They must be smaller. Smaller shingles. Oh, this is going to be crazy. They have to be smaller shingles. All right, we have to make them smaller. That's not going to work. The first base looks nice. Wait, do I have a whatchamacallit on the first? I do have a whatchamacallit on there. Trim on the first base. Okay, I was about to say. Get off me. How do we make a dragon out of cardboard? I'm kind of wondering that myself. So, we'll figure it out. They make a dragon out of cardboard. We need a dragon. I'm gonna have to make it out of plastic and cardboard. That's how we had to do the whatchamacallit, the bomb for the, for the Fallout. We had to use plastic to do that one. So, we may have to do it that way. I had to go search and figure out. That would basically work. Definitely would work. A soda bottle would definitely do that. It would definitely make a dragon with soda bottle. That would definitely work. It's like soda bottle. The freak you mean soda bottle, Jack? No, actually it would work. The body, base body, yeah, soda bottle. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It'll work. To make the fire is really easy. Comes out, it's easy. Cloud system and pipe cleaners. You can build a perfect stream of fire. And it all lights up too. I had to run all the wiring through the belly of the dragon. We gotta build one now. Oh, we gotta build one. I'm thinking about that, man. I got a freaking whatchamacallit system here. I got everything here to build that thing. Just go buy a bottle of soda, which we don't drink a lot of soda. So I just have to go to my sister's house and give it to her. Or she could dump it out in the container. She can have it. I said, what kind of soda you want? I just need a container. That's it. I don't drink a lot of soda. I don't. Me and soda don't get along too well. We used to a long time ago, but not anymore. I still haven't figured out exactly. I know who runs the clock tower. I don't know. We don't have any information yet on who they are. We do know everybody in the town is not human. They're kind of like they're elves. They're not human. It's not a human colony. It's all elves. All right. So all elves community. Somebody posted at the bottom and said, oh, something about beef. No, there is no beef. Counterfeited. That's it. There's no beef in counterfeiting. There's no beef. You better try to, I don't know what he's trying to say, but yeah, he put down, you guys are at beef. No. You broke the law. Counterfeited, stole a bunch of trademark material, stuff like that, running an illegal business, all that stuff. There's no beef. It's just one thing. Go to court and file, and then go FBI and file, and then they take it from there. That's it. Or just have to back up in court. He didn't commit any counterfeiting, or he didn't rip off a bunch of companies. And these companies will be notified that their merchandise was used in a counterfeiting ring. And he'll have to take it up from them with them. That's not beef at all, period. That's you instigating. That's why you're blocked from my channel. I don't have time for instigators. I don't play that game at the end of the day. That's why you're removed. Simple and plain. You know what happens when you rob a bank? That's not beef. That's you breaking the law. That's what it's called. The judge sentences you up to give you 10, 20 years. That's not beef. That's what you call the justice system. That ain't beef. So, you've been blocked and removed. I don't entertain nonsense. I don't have time for it. So you can check. You got some common sense at the end of the day. I don't have time to be dealing with that nonsense. I'm too old for that mess. I don't entertain it. Oh, look at this. The bell. The bell. We got to get the bell. I like this. Bam. I like that right there. Viking ships. We can do Viking ships. But the cool thing about it, every time I have to do something, I have to do the research on it. I love doing research on stuff. Like, really? I learned that's the new stuff. Like, that's how that was made. That's how they made that? That's pretty cool. So we're going to have to flatten that to get that to fit the shingles to fit there, which I should have did that to begin, which would have been much easier to do. But I forgot these are the bigger ones. These are the smaller ones. So we're literally going to have to put a little piece in there so we can basically level off the shingles. If not, it's not going to work. And we got to make a mining cart test. Yes, we're going to do a mining cart test. All out of cardboard and toothpicks. Toothpicks and cardboard. We're going to make a mining cart. I'm going to put it on a hill, see if it works. It should work with no problem. It's a new Mario. I think my favorite one was the Haunted Mansion. I love the Haunted Mansion. That's a good game, man. The Haunted Mansion. I still got mine on my GameCube. Running around the vacuum cleaner, sucking a roach, sucking a ghost. Who you gonna call? Ghost. Who you gonna call? I like when they did Casper and they had the guy in there from the Ghostbusters. Anyone they called and said, "Oh, we're professionals in the business. We definitely can get rid of that ghost." His brothers, Casper's brothers, are freaking ruthless. Anyone there? And he came out. He said, "Who you gonna call? Somebody else." They had the priest going there, and they said King came out. They did the exorcism and turned his head around backwards. They're like, "Well, you have a ghost. You have a very serious ghost problem in there." So we know, like, yeah. We watched that. I used to say it was in Babylon backwards. But the ghost was having funny. Who you gonna call? Somebody else. Brothers were crazy. All right, let me see. September to remember. That was an unrealistic commercial. Freaking buying people, freaking Lexus. I have never seen that in a day of my life. Probably somebody has. Go outside and you see people screaming, yelling, "You got me a Lexus!" I don't want that Lexus. Give me that Lexus. Give me a Lexus. Give me a hot rod. Give me a carpet. Give me 57 chicken. Give me a Judge. One of them. See, he does not want to come with us. It's in there. Here we go. This is a Lexus, that's a Honda. I think one of them is a Honda. It's actually a Honda overseas. I guess it would be a Honda. It's a luxury version of a Honda. I think it is the Lexus. That's what we're charging. Is this thing charging? I need this thing today. Alright, there we go. Now we can be ready for shingles. I think we'll do them this way instead. Yeah, if I do them this way instead. If I bend them this way, they have a better way that, because they're small, that's why. So we're doing this way instead. Oh, we need a little. We have to bend them differently. Ouch. Yeah, that hurt. Ugh, get used to it. Been burned multiple times on these things. Alright, there we go. Get used to it. First time it's like, Mother George. After a while, it's like you burn with your hand. You'll get burned again. There we go. That works better. Come on. Be nice. Lay in there. Fight me. Don't fight me for. Are you kidding me? Get in there. Yeah, that works better. The bending that way works much better. You gotta be kidding me. You're not in there? You should have been there. Dad, so much going there. You should have definitely been in there. All right, we have complications here. This area right here definitely chooses to fight. Definitely chooses to fight. I want to get it done. I need to drop heavy glue on you to get you to stay. You definitely want to stay. I guess we'll have to do it that way instead. We have to drop heavy glue in there. Make sure it stays. Come on, be nice. Get off of that. All right, whatever it takes. Yeah, came over here. That is fighting me like crazy. Like for some reason it does not want to marry at all. It does not wish to marry. Marry it shall. Oh, there we go. There we go. Jeez. It's a bit of a headache in there for that one. It did not want to marry. Now we're getting some more done. There we go. There's what I'm talking about. Can be shorter. Small ones, top area. We have to go pick up our caulking so we can start doing our walls, putting our foundation in. See right there. Get your butt back over there. Don't you dare slide over there like that. Work with them. Always. Okay. Pick up a Sharpie, dude. more. Should have did the top area a little better. That's gonna go right in that little move right in there. Another cool trick is if you get glue, run a little bit of glue inside the windows, and you go back over it with the glow paint, and makes the windows like they're cracked up a little. Gives a little interesting feature. And these are crooked. So you don't want them too crooked, but they don't have to be perfect. They shouldn't be perfect. So that's something you're saying. Well, you look it up. It's all over the internet, and people have been building these for years, way longer than I have. I just didn't know, and I went on and took a look and said, "Wow, they make these things." And there are a few people on YouTube that do it, so it's pretty cool. Tower's going to glow, but it's going to be a darker. I got to look for a dark paint for this one. So we're going to make it so it's white, kind of a spackle design, but the beams, all these are going to glow. But it's going to be a kind of a dark color. There we go. So now that's done with that one. The trim in there is nicely done. And I do want to put another one at the top area. Right nicely in there. Put that one right there. Oopsie. So let's get roughly about there. be nice. Let's be nice. There we go. There we go. So working on our other parts of our shingles. So make sure I just got that part done. Let's see. Hear about that size. Copyright free medieval music. Copyright free. You should be up there a little bit easier than that. There we go. Yeah. Need to be smaller. Much smaller than that. I don't like the way that looks. That bugs me. think we'll do one design of a dragon and a knight fighting. That look pretty cool. I'm going soon to a Renaissance fairground. Have me a ball. This reminds me of every freaking video game I played involved in a night or especially what's that game called? Dungeon Defender. Yes. You're gonna love that game. If you ever played Dungeon Defenders, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Game's kind of set up in that era. No, you need to be a little bit smaller, buddy. See? Interesting. If there were dragons and all these strange creatures of the night, how would we be fighting them today? We wouldn't have swords anymore. We have now the advanced firepower that we have today. How would we be fighting these things? And if magic existed, imagine that. How would soldiers look? I wonder if anyone ever did that. If they did any form of theory on that. I take it we have the same kind of armor, but it would be all different. It wouldn't be like the armor we have now. It'd probably be something completely different, but it'd be modified a little of medieval, but except for high tech at the exact same time. See, that'd be a cool theory right there. We still would have swords, but there'd be like plasma swords and stuff like that. And of course, the dragons would be much more advanced too on top of that. This is pretty interesting. Now, see, people that are into that AI technology at the end of the day, design something cool like that. That'd be cool. I've seen some pretty cool stuff, but that'd be a cool thought at the end of the day. The medieval era, but in our era. See. Really? How much stuff is on the table? color fan as well. He's sitting up there in front of a dragon's cave. Sent out on a bounty, take it out. Scream, dragon, deny me not. This battle in this cold winter days. For the battle begins now. Haste not, come forth. My landlord like, I heard this music playing from your office. Like, what you doing that? I'm building medieval castles. Like, oh my goodness. He's funny. He's an interesting dude, man. Real interesting dude. Turn around, you're building something crazy. Like, yeah, we're doing medieval castles. This is what I say, people. A version that can never be bored. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm designing the schematics for the dragon, how we're going to build it, the knights. I'm also working on some battleships in my head, some pirate battleships. And we're working on the mine carts for the mines. These cars are going to be to move around. They're going to be movable. The blueprints on how we're going to build the windmill that they're going to move also too. And if I can get a good motor in there, maybe we can get them to actually turn on their own by a little bit of power. That'd be cool. And then building the invisible PC case. I'm actually figuring out how we're going to make this case for the motherboard that can be submerged in vegetable oil. That's going to glow in the dark. And also too, something called liquid wall. If the liquid wall pans out the way I think it does, we got a new type of projection screen. Something different. Gotta think outside the box, people. That's what the traditional wall of just being stuck on the wall is so boring. It is. Just gotta be to go beyond that. So when we start showing off the black version of that technology, they can operate outside. When it has something on the wall, instead of coming and take it off the wall and take it outside. I think I did something drastically, mistakenly wrong here. I should have put those tiles in first, the ones near the wall first. It gave me an easier time to get these in here, but I think we can still do it. I'll make them slimmer. Look in there. Sir Taco. Sir Taco has risen. Taco would dress it like a dragon. Like a raw cat dragon. Well, it's bite me anyway. I play biting. It's bite me. Right in here. There's a will, there's a way. I'm happy. All states are turning blue. I'm so happy. Something had to give. Too much. Taco was a pirate, he would name his ship the Catnip. ship would be called? The catnip. There we go. Whew. That was an interesting squeeze. Next time, put tiles in first to the back, then work to the front. Was not thinking on that one. A little bit more. I'll bring pile up here and here. Let me see. No, I like that. So it's got a crooked castle to begin with. You can't make it perfectly straight. Has to be a little bit of crookedness in there. That's why the chimney's going to be weird looking. The chimney's going to connect to the back. It's going to come out the side. It's going to have kind of a cat and hat kind of feature to it. It's going to be interesting. I wanted something. I was going to do traditional. I said, no, let's do something crazy for a chimney. All right, let me see what's going on up in here. Did we buy cocoa? We did buy cocoa, didn't we? First, you'll need that bottom of that piece in there first. We do any of that. Definitely need that piece first. We do all that. Hey, come back here. And yep, they're still working on their building. I think we're going to have, we don't have people coming in here at all. Just imaginary what we're talking about. But no people. Some of them will actually just be, whatchamacallit. We may put people inside, but I have to build layers inside. But I do know the castle is going to have soldiers. So we have to buy the soldiers first and build the castle around the soldiers. Everything is correct. So we get the soldiers because I need archers, swordsmen, we need all that, everything. So we're buying all that stuff. We're going to repaint everything, and then we're going to build the castle around the size of the characters, so everything looks more realistic. Release the drawbridge. Dragons will talk in this era. They can speak. Of course, they would be extremely intelligent. They've been around for centuries. Millions and millions of centuries. They would reason with you like, go home to your family. You cannot win this battle. I am far too wise, too strong, and too skilled. Will lay before the rest. Many have lost their souls in this battle against me. I advise you, go home. I will lay you to waste. Some take the heat and go home to their families, and some, well, they end up back. Pile of rusted armor. Those who fallen in battle. Consider. Now, these are dangerous dragon. Dragon that deliberately breaks the treaty and goes on and attacks and takes people's cattle and all that other crazy stuff. Then, yeah, you're going to have to take him out. But he's a peaceful dragon. He's up there minding his own business. He just talks to you and tells you to go home. I do not war with you. The ones that do, they're extremely, extremely dangerous. Extract without cause or warning. A welcome war. Get you right in there. There we go, right there. It's going to make several different types of dragons. White dragons are peaceful dragons, and the red dragons, or the dragons that are with a mixture of black, mostly red, or evil dragons. Now, white dragons fight in battles for the king, and red dragons, well, they just don't care. They just take anything they want. Now, you know, we got some people who study all this stuff and they say, that doesn't make any sense. Everything we're talking about is just for fan art. That's all it is. Some people get too critical with it. It has to be so-and-so. Like the Fallout PC. Like literally someone came in and talked about how it's that. It's fan art, man. That's all it is. Chat, chill, relax, enjoy. That's it. It's going to be awful heavy. No, these things are not even heavy. They got no weight to them. Now, if we're building an entire thing out of real copper piping, I had a PC that was very, very heavy. It was a steampunk PC. It was very heavy because it had all copper piping in it. That's heavy. These are lightweight. There's no really no weight to them at all. Look at the frames and how they're built. That's all pieces of wood in there. It's a wooden frame system. So it's not heavy at all. Very, very lightweight. And that's what I wanted. I did a vegetable oil cooled PC. That's freaking heavy. That's a fish tank filled with vegetable oil. You know how heavy those things are? It takes 2 people to lift one of those things up. And then transported them, that's a whole nother world. 'Cause I had to transport those things from one house to another. I had to buy a huge plastic container, huge container. And I had to put blankets inside just in case if any of the oil would have poured out in the middle of shipping. And I had to pack styrofoam around them so they couldn't go anywhere. Oh yeah, there was something else. You build one of them, they ain't going too far. That's a heavy PC. And then as the oil down through time starts to basically thicken, it gets even more heavier to lift. So I know that from first-hand experience. I did 2 of them. So yep, real heavy. Let me see. I'm gonna put you here. Make the job a little easier. Bend you ahead of time. Right there. You're going to be a little too short, too long. So I'm going to have to take it off of you. Put you right in there. I'm definitely going to be doing some Japanese, little Japanese village. I'm going to have to figure out where we get rice paper from, because I want to do the original with the rice paper doors and walls. I'm going to do a little pond out there with the koi fish, original bridge, all that. It's coming along looking quite nicely. I'm very happy with it. Got my inspirational music playing in the background. You see all my little people here building and putting together their clock tower for the new town. Yeah, that'll work. We got to put in a tavern because they need some place to go and drink because, you know, after a hard day of building the clock tower, they're going to need a place to make merry. There we go. Now we work on this side next. Whew. Man, we should imagine what this looks like compared to what that looks like now. Boy, that's going to be interesting. All right, let me see. We're going to get this knocked out quick to get this one side done. First thing, make it easier on me, is do the roof last and then do the window trim first. Thinner for that trim. The thinner it is, the easier it bends. We trace out the windows. So thinner is very good. Bend it up so we can get more flexibility. Really? Oh, look up. Get up. Get up. Oopsie. Careful. No. Piece right there, so fit in there. Nice at the window. I want to fits in nice and snuggy. Doesn't that music just make you want to suit up in some armor and just gallop out in the unknown? Or should you be afraid? You have an enchanted sword, enchanted weapons, enchanted armor. It says like when you play those games, man, you first start off and your stuff is crap, absolute crap. You stay away from those certain high number areas. But the minute your armor, you get that crazy enchanted armor, you ain't afraid to go anywhere. Boy, you learned that lesson the hard way in freaking Assassin's Creed. Good great. I still haven't conquered that guy. I'm gonna go back and get his behind. There's this guy on top of this. I don't know, his level is way up there, but he has some crazy, insane bounty hunters. Do enough damage, these suckers will try to track you down. He has some insane armor on him. Man, I tried everything. I could not take him down. I should return to that world. Take him down. Usually the best way for me to collect interesting armor was to use the poison arrows, the fire arrows and the poison arrows. So I get a whole bunch of arrows and I'll cause some trouble in the city, knowing they were going to send these high-level bounty hunters after me. And I would climb up on the top of the buildings and I just basically shred down their armor to nothing and then take them out. You can dodge arrows on top of that roof with no problem. But they can only fire but so high, and they can't climb. Well, actually, you know, I forgot they can climb. Some of them can climb. And so you're gonna have to jump from roof to roof. I just let them run into me, and I shred down their armor as they run into me. And they're weak enough, I'll take them out. Collect their armor, and then go to the next. Try to cause some more trouble, so I can get some more armor, some better armor, higher bounty. Let me see. Come here for a minute. Let's bring it down a little bit. That's up and get some. There you go. All right, we got that window base there. Oh, that's going to fit in there right there. We didn't have to cut that. Cool. All right, I'll take that. Take that for 500 chuck. It's going to fit in there just like that. Cool, we didn't have to cut that. That's cool. I'll take that for 500 chuck. 500 chuck. Every game person's in. If you call his name is Chuck. You want to stay or you want to play? I'm going to basically play Chuck. All right. So I'll take the gamble. I'm not going to do that. The other person they pass, going to stay or pass. Maybe something really nice, like some furniture, maybe a trip to Hawaii or something. They'd be like, I'm going to pass. And pass the other person. And they start out, and it's funny because that'd be something dinky, like making you regret that you passed. We got this luxury patio furniture. Like, oh man, I passed up a trip to Hawaii. Some patio furniture. And everybody, what's behind the door? It's a brand new car. Matching Cadillacs. I'm like, yeah. Screaming. That's got to be some fun. That's got to be fun. Game show has got to be fun. That's just nothing but excitement all the way around. Like, ah, crap. I got cars. Not yet. T1. Y'all excited, screaming, y'all, yeah! I love game shows. It's funny, interesting. You just seem to look on their face like, oh man, really? There's some patio furniture? A trip to Hawaii. 4 nights. Sounds like 4 nights, what? 4 days and 3 nights, or whatever it is, anyway. All expenses paid. Let's go to Hawaii. They give you that luxury furniture. Anytime they give you luggage, trips coming up. There's always a trip coming up. Every time they give you, that's just a telltale right there. The minute they show you a bunch of luxury 10-piece luggage. Who the freak is carrying 10 pieces of luggage? I never could understand that part right there. 10-piece luggage. I guess, I don't know. I don't get it. I didn't carry all that. Matter of fact, I didn't carry anything. When I went down to, what did we pack when we went to Disney World? Pretty much next to nothing, because I bought everything when I was there, because I was going to be in the park all day long anyway. I mean, I bought my pants, a couple pairs of pants. I bought some kicks, some flats and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Be walking around chilling on the water park, whatever they had down there going on. That's pretty much it. A couple of t-shirts, but mostly I wore their stuff when I was down there. The Mickey Mouse t-shirt, Mickey Mouse hat, all that stuff. I see somebody rocking the Mickey Mouse shorts down there. So that's pretty much it. I just rocked their stuff. But 10-piece luggage. Where the freak you going to? How long is your trip supposed to be? That might be for people maybe change like 3 times in a day, I guess. It's the evening gowns, the dinner gown, the lounging gown. And you got to change out the shoes and all that stuff. I can see women. Women will do that. Because women, again, they have to have like so many outfits. This is interesting because you'll see, unless, I don't know, some men they're getting that way now. They have just as much luggage as women. But it used to be that women have all this luggage and you just have one bag. And you'll be like, really? I just fit everything in that one bag. That's it. You don't have like all, but they have accessories. You have to understand, they got accessories. They got accessories with shoes. They got accessories with jewelry. They got accessories with everything. Their world's different from ours, so I can understand that. That's a lot of bags. A 10-piece luggage set. It's 10 pieces of luggage. You got to carry on the plane. How expensive that's gonna get. Samsonite. I think Samsonite. That's what I always wanted. I'm not saying correctly. That's that steel looking piece of luggage. I want one of those. Samsonite, and that's what it is. If I got it right, I probably butchered it. But yeah, I always wanted one of them. And they show the gorilla slamming it all over the place. It's indestructible. You got the trim on that, didn't you? Yep, I did already forget. I was like, wait, did you forget the trim on that? You did forget the trim on that. There's a whole thing that comes on this side and this side. The next one I want to experiment with, little cabin. I'm going to go out to the park and get branches and stuff. And we're going to cut that and turn that into the frame of, or use wooden sticks to turn that into the frame of our cottage. And then build it from there. We're going to do something interesting. We'll do some actual real wood and do it. And we'll get a tree to grow out from the side of the house. We'll do a tree on the side of the house. We'll do this one where we'll do the top of the roof. Won't have shingles. It'll be grass. Might as well make the door a circle, right? You know what? Going down that route anyway, just build a hobbit house. Why not? Circle door, the whole 9 yards. All right, that'd be cool. I'm gonna go take a walk out to the park and see if we can find some branches and stuff and bring some of this back with us. Oh my God, it's just turned into my mother. My mother did that. My mother used to go to arrangements and stuff, and she used to go get branches and wood. Huh, interesting. Okay, we're gonna make a hobbit house. But we'll do it differently where we'll open up the door and you get a chance to see what's going on inside. The back of it, take out like a magnetic, you can take it off, you can see what's going on inside. So that'd be pretty cool. Got to put like a burning fireplace and a couple some floor and some wooden area floors and make it look pretty cool. Pots and pans and all that stuff. All right, let me see. Oh, let's tilt this. Well, we got to be over in this section right here. Rest of we're working here. But before we get that, we have to get this done right here. This has to be finished. So this is enough to make our Shingles for that. As a matter of fact, that would be a nice setup. The Hobbit houses built like that, and then put it in the top area, put it like a little mining area with the mining carts. That'd be pretty cool. So we'll have to get some elves, and we'll have to build the elves around the size. With how size the elves are, we have to build around them. So look more realistic. I wonder if I can get any one of them sitting inside of a cart, like sitting down, and put them in the cart, like they're riding in the cart, acting up. Gotta have a little fun at work. It's interesting. Men would bow when they see a woman. Take their hat, tilt it. Good evening, madam. How does day find you? I hope it finds you quite well. So imagine if we still talk like that. This would be pretty cool. Men still tilt their hats. What would we say, ma'am? Be madam. Thank you, Jenkins. I have a joke for you. Tell it, do please. What the sock? They wouldn't say that. Maybe that's our error. What would the sock? We had socks back then. What would the sock say to the foot? What would the sock say to the foot? I do not know. You're putting me on. That is a good one, oh boy. I really enjoyed it. It was a real knee slapper. Knee slapper, knee slapper. First time they told Joe they slapped their knees was so funny. Knee slapper. Knee slapper. You're quite the wild one, oh Jenkins, old boy. Let's return to the study for some hot tea and pastries. Go back to the smoking study. We're telling the same joke to other people that are in here. Tell them the joke you just told me a few minutes ago in the Rose Garden. It's actually a good knee slap where you'll absolutely enjoy it. There we go. It's a knee slapper. Do a 3-bell system for the bell tower. 3-bell system. And we have to make a fabric scroll, of course, some signs and stuff. A name of the taverns and what they're called. But we already have over there the Whimsical Cottage and Lucky Lakes. This one over there that glows in the dark. Usual interesting problems in the town, like dealing with the trolls and the ogres, werewolves. Some fairies are good, some fairies are mischief, some fairies are bad. Soldiers that are sent out by the king to deal with the threats. Let's see if we can get both of these in here. Ongoing, never-ending battle. Those who threaten the kingdom. Can you imagine being out there in the town with your family in the town markets and you watch these armored knight armors pass by, these soldiers, these warriors, and you can see a child look up, make eye contact with you. And next you know, many years will pass, you'll be a general and he'll be a soldier in your army. And it'll go on. He'll pass through the town, the child will see him and make eye contact with him, and he'll become a general, and now he'll become a soldier in that army. A lot of people in the town got influenced by seeing these soldiers walk through. Like, wow, what are they? Those are the Knights of the Round Table. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to be. I found my destiny, what I want to do. Some have chose to be farmers and some chose to be warriors. The farmers are needed. They're very important. Soldiers got to eat. Kings got to eat. People got to eat. Soldiers are farmers are very important. Soldiers were designed to protect the castle, but protect those farmers also too. Oh, I love building this stuff. I tell you, it's so much fun. This is my favorite era. In any era in time, the medieval time is my favorite. I do like the colonial era, I do, but I favor more the medieval era because it's tied in with a whole lot of cool stuff. You know what I mean? With dragons and ogres and unicorns and all that stuff. That's what I like about it so much. There we go. That's perfect. That'll work. So we're going to use a pipe cleaner system for the flags to make it look like they're waving in the wind. Give a little flex to them. That's how we do that one. That's how we do it this way because it made it easier for me to get the tiles in. I had to piece them in the last time. This time we do it this way. Make my job a little bit more easier. far we're going over that one. You would be way over there. Heat gun would be right there. Go. This is much easier with that. Now we can start putting in our shingles. Shingles. Oh, wait, the fan can't blow it. We're all over the place. All right, this is off the knife here. Oh, first let me put these on the side first. Those in first. This will be easier to do because we flattened the roof out this time. Should have a better way to do it. what's up, buddy? Oh, my bad. Sorry. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, let's see. Where you at? Okay, I got you. Cartoons are off. They're like, yo, cartoons, but cartoons. I got you. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Should be on. There you go, buddy boy. Do that. Cartoons are on. They're like, yo, cartoons, daddy-o. Cartoons. What was how your reaction would be for Bugs Bunny? You don't like Tom and Jerry, do you? Don't try Bugs Bunny. You might like Bugs Bunny. You watched all the Mr. Bean episodes. Gotta be bored with that now. Oh, let me see. You got any more of these little cutout squares? You got one here, but let me something that'll fit that. Wait, there's one here. There. All right, one more time. On that side. Awesome, Nessie, quick. What are you staring at? Nessie, quick. Oh, you need water? I got you. You got some there. I'm okay. Just show me some fresh water. Gun apparently has a mind of his own right now. Oh, your back was turned that way. Okay. Oh, the spine was crooked. I'm like, wait a minute. It was turned into the side. That's why. I had to check. Shoot. You're in an animal hospital. What the frick is going on with your spine? You're just turning your body, that's what it was. Never dripping a stick in your life. You'll figure it out. Shit, yeah, a kid just stole a car. He was young too. Like 10 years old, stole a car and was driving it. Where how you learn to drive? Video games. You know how to drive a stick on a video game. It'll teach you how to drive a stick. You know, high-end games. You got a choice of automatic or stick. It does the exact same thing. It has all the gears and everything right there. Same thing. You get the ones you see people on there driving the tractor trailers. They have 16 gear steering wheel set up. It's the same thing. The tractor trailer. Because they have to do a simulator anyway. I have to do a simulator you do on tractor trailers. They have them. Flight simulators, all that stuff. It's same thing. You can get the exact same duplicate that they have. And those pilots, there's a guy did a screen for, he used to be a pilot for airlines, and he has an exact duplicate of that whole entire cockpit in his living room. Exact same thing. They make them. And he goes and he flies the skies. And when people do trains and stuff, they got the entire setup in there. They got all the trains are on schedule, what time they take off, what time they're supposed to report here and there. All these trains running. Same exact duplicate. And that's what Xbox did when they need to steal back with time controller. If you're a Mac, if you game on Mac, you like Mac games, that is literally the closest thing you will ever get to operating an actual Mac, is that controller. I wish that Microsoft would do it again. I wish they would make another one. I'd definitely go out and buy an Xbox because of that game. That's the closest you would ever get to actually operating an actual Mac. Is that controller. The controller is everything. And like I said, there's a difference between when people do flying games with a controller and a flying game with an actual flight stick. It's actually a huge, massive difference. Driving with a controller and driving with a steering wheel, again, huge, massive difference. Drifting on a controller is not the same as drifting on a steering wheel. Steering wheel is much different with the pedals. You literally have to sit there and tap that brake and hit the gas at the same time and tap that brake and hit the gas. Press down on you turn, press down and hit the speed so you can accelerate and then tap that brake to get it under control. It's different, way different. And then control the steering wheel at the same time. Yeah, I like driving the steering wheel far better than with the controller. I'm talking about any controller for any system, whether it be PC or console. Nothing beats those consoles, those controllers. Those particular controllers. Nothing beats that, man. It's a real experience. Not real experience, but you know, close enough when you're doing a game, of course, when it's real as possible. Who doesn't? If you ever got a chance to play Time Crisis with the lightning guns, the era of the lightning guns, the light guns, It's nothing like it, man. It's different, way different than doing your controller light gun. The handguns were much different. That reload, reload. I love Time Crisis. Virtual Cop, another good one. Time Crisis, Dino Crisis. All of them have the guns you load. They had one called Solid Scope with the sniper rifle. If you had one of them, that's another good one. House of the Dead. I had the Japanese version, Dreamcast version, and Japanese and the American version. That was a good game too. House of the Dead. House of the Dead 2. Even funner when you did it in co-op. 2 people get the light guns. Yep, the era of the light guns. Now, see, that's what I'm saying. That's stuff they should be bringing back. PlayStation 5 needs to have a light gun. Xbox needs to have a light gun. They had to bring them back. There was so much fun with light guns, man. They got a lot of good games in their library. Bring back some of those old games, man. Those real big old games, man. Now they got better technology than what we had in games and console games back then. Bring back some of them old games. Them cult classics. I'd love to be able to play another version of Steel Battalion on the Xbox. I would love to. Nope, they don't bring it out. They just bring out whatever. See, that mech controller, for those people who play like Mech Warrior and all that stuff like that, and you play on a controller, and you really think your skill level is that high at the end of the day, do it with a 40-button mech controller. And you'll see whether or not your skill level is up to it. It'll challenge your skill level. 40 buttons. And all of them, everything. If you ever saw the controller, all those buttons are operational. The flight stick alone has like 5 or 6 of them in the buttons in there, control buttons in there. You got to memorize all that stuff, everything. And then you got 3 additional you got a foot pedal system underneath of you, 3 of them. It's 3 pedals, left and right, and 1 for tank mode. So now you only got to remember your buttons. You got to remember how to walk at the same time too. That'll challenge you. And then they had an online version of it. That was even worse. Because then now you got to remember the buttons. You're panicking. You got stuff shuts down. It don't work. Like if you basically take damage to your left side of your controller does not work anymore. You better figure it out. Once they see you wounded, here come the pack. They're these little smaller ones. Little smaller mechs are faster and quicker. They usually would take down larger mechs. You see you wounded, they'll come after you to hunt you. Well, that game was so much fun, man. The screaming and yelling on the other end, like, oh my god, what the frick is going on? Later on, we sitting there chatting and laughing with each other, like, yeah, you see the control? Like, my god, man, I went to go pick that thing up. I had to go over to Staples to get a desk, because my desk wasn't big enough to accommodate that giant controller. Dude, it was like 40 freaking buttons. I'm thinking, like, how am I going to memorize 40? It was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming, it wasn't even funny. And you saw those buttons, and you're thinking, like, okay, some of these got to be fake. It can't be 40 buttons. And no, it was 40 buttons. But after a month, you learned it. It took a while to do it. Learned it about a month or so how to do it, how to operate all those buttons. They did make another version. They made it for the Kinect. That was the worst idea ever. I don't know who in a board meeting came up and said, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a 40-button Mech controller and we're going to make it all with the Kinect with hand control. Yeah, that was a dumb idea. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That thing had so many glitches, so many problems with it. It was not even funny. It was confusing other controls for other controls. You were sitting duck in that game. What was the guy? Angry Gamer? Is that the guy who did it? He did a review on it? I forgot the guy, but I couldn't stop laughing, man. He was losing in there. He said, man, it opened up the shutters, it bring the shutters down to protect you when you get shot at. And trying to fire. It was so messed up. It was so messed up. It was a bad idea. Should have just brought out the freaking controller, some freaking Kinect system you can operate with your hands. And you look in the living room, trying to operate a 40-button Mech controller in the living room like you're having a seizure in there. Like, what the freak is going on with your son? Is he having a seizure? Or you're waving for help? Something's going on in there, but it ain't looking right. I got one right over there. I'm hoping that for the PC. It is virtually impossible to try to play games on the Kinect and look good at the same time while doing it. Like a raging lunatic in your living room, waving your arms all up in the air. Because at least with VR at the end of the day, you got glasses on. People are always in VR. You know, that's just understandable. Connecting on VR is you in there waving your arms all over the place. Some of the games did work. Some of the games were actually pretty good. They were accurate. Some of them were like, what the freak? Really? You got to calibrate. You calibrate all day long. That thing still wouldn't work right. It was short-lived. And then on top of that, the whole voice command nonsense at the end of the day. People were literally trolling people with the voice command. They were naming their gamer tags Xbox off. You mention their name, your Xbox turns off. I could not stop laughing on that one. That was a genius idea. They named it so you can have voice commands. So you can go Xbox off. Why don't you just go over and turn it off? Like everybody does at the end of the day. I mean, I love Xbox, I do. But I thought that was the dumbest thing ever. Why in the world I need to go Xbox off? Xbox off. Xbox off. Xbox on. Xbox off. Xbox on. And then people are like, you know what? I'm going to change my gamer tag to Xbox off. And you're playing the game of Call of Duty and you go, yo, check out that gamer tag, Xbox off. Oh, no, don't turn up. Abort. Yeah. They were trolling people. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'd have did the same thing too. That was hilarious. I don't think it's the connection left it the way it was. And eventually, what happened to the Kinects? They still sell the system, but they don't sell the Kinects anymore. It's more advanced for PC. The software that I've seen that downloaded on that machine over there, it's way more advanced on PC. Stuff you could do with it is unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, that equipment over there, the Kinect is a very, very high level piece of equipment. It's just not for a console. It was designed, it was more for PC. The programs that I've downloaded for that thing does incredible stuff. So basically, once we get all hooked on with the screen, I don't have to use keyboards and none of this stuff, voice activated, hand movement, all that stuff. It's all me. I've become the complete controller for it. I haven't found any games for it on PC, but as for basic commands on my PC, yeah. We also use them for 3D printing. They're fantastic scanners for 3D printing. They use them for drones, robotics, all kinds of stuff they use those things for. Even the military uses those things. The Kinect system is a very powerful unit. Just really wasn't opened up on the console. Alright, finish this part and that part, and what time we got? Alright, I got some stuff I gotta do today. Got to be out and about. Got my medieval music playing in the background to set the mood for the build. Happy because we're all getting the blue wave is now here. Trump is panicking. No more. No more. We got a leash now. Majority of the House is going to be blue. The Republicans, they get jacked. I looked at their numbers, the poll numbers, they didn't get jacked. One guy got 8. He got 8 points. 64 to 8 points. I mean, they didn't get jacked. What do you expect? And this guy at the bottom, he actually said it perfectly clear. What do you expect? Look at the mess they caused. What do you expect? What's going to happen? The American people are just going to take that bull crap. They lost California. Attacked your own base. Because at one point he got on and he ranted about how much he didn't like his own base. Jeez. Well, he's figuring, he don't need you anyway. Because, and Nikki coming back for another term, that ain't happening. Not on this planet or any other planet. It ain't happening. See, this time around, what he did was he put his own judges in place. Majority of the House and Senate was all Republican. So that gave him the power to do whatever he wanted to do. Now, well, those judges are going to be out pretty soon. They're getting rid of them. The numbers on there are high. They're getting wiped out left and right. It's going to be all blue. So now, pretty much, he's surrounded. Democratic Party, just him. Anything he puts into play is going to get struck down. He knows it. That's why I sat there and threatened New York City and said to New York City that if they basically voted blue, Democrat, he was going to take away their funding. What kind of nonsense is that nonsense in the day? See? And it's funny because he threw his own people under the bus. Because he sat there and said, what's that guy called? Mike Spencer, I think his name is, his House Speaker. Came up there and said it was the Democrats that were causing all this trouble. The Democrats, the reason why SNAP programs and all that stuff was caught being on hold. He made that statement. And then the courts went in and told Trump that he had to release certain funding to help these people out. And then when the polls were going in his direction, he got mad and upset and said, well, I'm not going to basically help these people out until the shutdown ends. You went against court order. But then, like I said, the House Speaker sat there and said from the door, it's the Democrats were causing it. And then Trump turned around and does that. He threw his own people under a bus. How are you going to say it's Democrats that are not going to do it, but you got a court order from a judge telling you to do so, and you turn around and said you're not doing it? That means it's coming from the Republicans. He clearly threw that dude under a bus. Good luck cleaning that mess up. That's going to be funny to watch. And then he came back in and said, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, because somebody probably went back and said, hey, man, I just got up there and vouched for you, and you threw me under a bus, man. Technically, he didn't go under a bus. He went through a whole railway system on that one. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care at all, period. I think the only people, who voted for Republican are people that are rich and have money and not affected by what he does. And the other half that are people are naive and brainwashed. That's it. But most of his base sat there and said, no, he got me on this time. He's not getting me again on this one. I'm definitely voting against him. You know, the future of your kids at the end of the day, what they're going to be subjected to. That's allergies. I know that for a fact. I ain't got the freaking impact head. Whoa. Anyway. Yep. You know, Republicans are all bitter and angry at the end of the day. What do you expect? I didn't do jack, man. You gotta do nothing at all. Prices, everything's more expensive. Make America great again. Ugh. Good gracious. Make people richer. People who have money have more money than they can possibly ever think of. Make them richer. But the blue wave is now here. The more threats he puts out about how he's not going to fund this and fund that, the worse it makes him for himself. No one cares about that. They're not threatened by that. They'll vote out all those judges, get rid of them. And he won't have any control anymore. They can take him to court anytime they want to. The judges, actually, matter of fact, tell you the truth, the judges he appointed didn't see eye to eye with him. He got an oath to uphold at the end of the day. And they didn't see, a lot of them just didn't see eye to eye with him. So I'm curious how that goes at the end of the day. But the way the people feel right now, they don't want anything red in there. They want it all blue. One person I can't wait to see get voted out is Mike Spence. I don't like him at all. You just see the smile and the lies. He just lies. You just see it in his face. He just lies. I can't wait for him to be voted out. Let's watch that man. He just lies. How do you live with yourself? Well, like I said, that ain't your big problem right there. Your big problem is the next life. Because again, as I said before, everybody you see, everybody's in. We don't have immortality. We're going to leave this planet one way or another. And what's waiting for you in that world is far worse what's in this one. They all got to have to pay for everything you do. Every lie you told, everything you do. And he said he's a Christian man. I doubt that 100%. I doubt it. If you were a Christian man, you would have lied like that, knowing at the end of the day that you guys were responsible for that mess. You want that bill to pass. You want that. I hate saying that bill. That's the dumbest bill I ever heard of. Who freaking names a bill that big, beautiful bill? That's just dumb. Anyway, they want that bill to pass. That's why. So you're going to hold the American people at hostage, and the United States military and federal workers at hostage to get what you want. We'll end the shutdown if you agree to the bill. And the bill is designed to hurt you. So the Republicans stood their ground at the end of the day. So you wouldn't have to get your Medicare and all that stuff cut away from you. Because that's what they wanted to pass. They wanted to pass that bill. And if it meant starving the American people, so be it. So they felt. Because remember, he sat there and said, right there, he said that the Republicans are responsible for the reason why people are going to go hungry. And right there is when the judge sat there and told them that they had to release those funds to help those people out. And what happened? When the states started turning blue, what did Trump do? Trump went in and made a statement that he's not releasing them. So now you know where the real truth lays at. Where it really came from. It came from the Republicans were doing it. The Republicans were using it as a bargaining chip to get what they wanted. So he threw that guy clean under the bus. There it is. Whatever's in the dark comes out in the light. That's how that works. They introduced a bill to fund, and the Republicans turned it down. So, yep. All the Republicans. Now, people are tired of it, and they're getting rid of them. I guarantee you that what's going on now, the history that's being made, that any of those Republicans that were a part of what went on of basically making it so that 42 million people will go hungry, including kids and children, this will stain their records forever. So leave a mark on them. Anybody who deals with Trump don't do well. They're marked. They're going to be marked. It damaged their career. Look at the Pell guy. Perfect example. Look at the Pell guy. Look at Mayor Giuliani. These are people that supported Trump, right? Mayor Giuliani got sued for $149 million from the voting machine company. He's broke. He don't have that type of money. He had $49 million, not $149 million. The Pell guy, broke, filed for bankruptcy. Got an eviction notice on a warehouse he was running. Couldn't even afford to pay his employees. Business destroyed. Name and reputation destroyed. Musk, at the end of the day, yeah, he's a rich man. But consider the fact that his vehicles, his prized vehicles, they're never going to come back. They're never going to come back. Those Teslas are never going to come back. They're never going to recover from that, ever. Now you got so many different versions of cars now. People would rather buy them before they buy his car. No one wants to be caught with that car. And people now, when people get into politics, if you're a really nasty human being at the end of the day, you will show your true colors. People will see you for what you are. Mind you, Trump was in freaking Home Alone. When I first saw Trump, when I first heard about Trump and the casinos and all that stuff, I was like, oh, cool, this is pretty cool. Got the casinos and stuff, you know what I mean? People made him a bit of a superstar. People met him at the, sometimes you'll see him at the casinos and stuff, you know what I mean? You'd have never thought all this crazy stuff would have been what it was. I saw him in Home Alone. I was like, oh, shoot, they got Trump in freaking Home Alone. Yeah, small cameo. It was pretty cool. And people liked it. He should have stayed in that area. And all the other stuff started coming up, and he's not a well-liked person anymore. So politics can make you a good person in the face of the people, and it can make you a bad person in the face of the people. It'll show who you truly are. Why people in business don't get caught up in politics. Like, nah, I'm not good. I need to be mudslinging and digging up stuff on you. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stay out of that. It's not good for me. Man, the world. Well, it could be worse. It could be the Roman Empire. They were far, far worse. Because the Roman Empire was a little different in there. They wanted you out. They wanted you out. That's all to it. Or in this era, the medieval era, kings. They were basically very dangerous to be a king. You had to worry about somebody poisoning you. You had to worry about somebody, a military coup. Anything could have went wrong. Your wife might want power. She can convince the military to take you out. Anything could happen. They could stab her in the back and get rid of her. Son's next to be king. If you want to be on the throne a little longer, you can take him out. I'm like, gee whiz Louise. There was just so much freaking backstabbing going on. It was unbelievable. Everybody in that castle, I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying pretty sure some other people in there, but majority of the people in that castle were just looking how to get higher up on the ladder. closer you were to the king, the better your life would be. Jesters were automatically close to the king because they made the king's entertainment. They made him laugh and all that stuff like that. Yeah, jesters had a lot of power. And there are two types of jesters. I said before, you had the jester that was in the town. They pelted with fruit and wore the bells and all that. And there was another type of jester. It was a little different. He was dressed more like a nobleman. And jesters were very intelligent. Yeah, but they were very intelligent. Ones with the kings were very intelligent. Went to the best schools and everything else. And they had land. They had money. They were different. But yeah, everybody was fighting for power. Everybody was fighting for power, just about. If you could get into the ear of the general, and you can get him to say, "Hey, look, we need power. We need to be able to. You're the only person that can overthrow the king." Your wife could be having an affair with one of these, with the higher up soldiers. At the end of the day, to convince him, to control him, to overthrow the king. So a lot of stuff that went on. And then you had to worry about people poisoning your food. You got to worry about assassins that may have gotten to the kingdom, got close enough to you, to know you, to take you out. Gee whiz Louise, it wasn't on the take. Maybe the 8th or something else. Some of the prince, sometimes they had to flee the castle in fear of their own life. Because maybe their father wanted to reign longer. He wanted to get rid of you. To make sure with no chance no one could ever challenge him. You know how those movies go, you know. King goes rogue and puts a bounty on you, and now you're out in the woods hiding. And to learn about the people in the town and all that stuff, you know what I mean, and how they protected you and so and so and so. And once the king passes off, you go back and take him out. You resume king and you become a good king. You know the storylines they have. But as for all that taking people out left and right, yeah, they were doing that left and right. There was no tomorrow. Where's the music? I'm almost done. Did we pause? Oh yeah, we did pause. We can call pauses. Why does it do that? Why does it come in and say, "Are you there?" I hated that crap in COVID. Are you there? Where else am I going? Like really, where else am I freaking going from today? I ain't going anyplace else. Where else would I be at? I'll be upstairs on the 3rd floor working on something. I got music playing downstairs, and that sucker basically cut off. I'm like, oh, gotta go over downstairs to get the music back on. Are you there? Oh yeah. Streets of Rage. Oh yeah. Man, I love Streets of Rage, man. I would put in no friendly fire on there, and you go use, especially if you was using Max and you had that freaking pipe in your hand. You swing that sucker back, you would smack anybody in the back of you with that pipe. I used to say jacking my friends up. Well, stand them back at me then. Bow. They're cracking with that pipe. Is this? No, it's not. Whoopsie. What do you need to anyway? Oh, you do need to. Oh, yeah, no, I got you. I think I need you for the other part to dry. All right, one at the same time. Drop the scissors, then drop that. That literally sounds like the music in the tavern from Dungeon Defenders. It sounds exactly like it. I'm gonna go back and check that. I'm getting flashbacks from that game. It literally sounds like the music from the tavern. Pretty sure it is. This is running copyright-free music. So they would be use it, no problem. We have another piece here. We got two of them here. Here we cut. Man. How to make cobwebs. If I ever have to do a haunted mansion, I know how to do cobwebs. Because, man, it's like a cobweb. From there. And here. Let's go. Here's all of the phone. Hello, Taco. It was that snippy noise. Cutting something, Taco. Right at me. Like, what is that snippy noise? Snippy snip. So now it's Taco. Putting it together. That's what we're doing. Piece by piece. Piece by piece. I believe that was a box at one point. Yep. Transform into that. And we have lights up here too. On top. I think some areas of the castle I am going to expose and see some of the insides of it. We're going to use royal carpet for the roll wallpaper and royal carpet. I already got some patterns picked out already for the royal hall of the castle. That's one of the parts I want to show off, is the royal hall. Oh, we didn't do there. We have to get that done. That wasn't there. I'm not getting there. Off by one. little bit more. Okay. Hello. Go. I keep saying castle. I'll tell you how bad I want to start working on the castle. I'm probably got to build a throne room outside first, and then basically have it so we can slide it in and lock it in place. Yeah, I want the magnetic strip that one. Excuse me. But I do want to make it so I can pull the throne room out and show it off, and then push it right back in. Castle's probably going to take 2 months to build. I swear it's probably going to take 2 months to put that thing together. We're definitely going to have screens throughout that whole entire thing. I'm going to put screens all through it to do different effects. So we have this special projector coming in to do all this work to make our castles come to life, to put in special effects, holograms, ghosts, all that stuff. Yeah, you knew there had to be something behind these builds at the end of the day. We're not just building it for the sake of just building it for that. No, there's a screen, there's technology, there's a special projectors, holograms, all the stuff that's involved in these builds. You don't need to make people if you can project people. Some stuff we're working on. Everything involves their screens. Everything involves their screens. Everything. Everything will involve screens. Yeah. Taco. Yeah. This is deny me not. Deny me not. Excuse me. Nope. Here. Would help if that was actually connecting. Don't worry about that glue drip. Yeah, it's the undercoat. Let's talk about the top coat of all that nonsense. The AI, I like AI and all, I really do, but there's an undercoat. Everybody has nothing with technology is always the bad side. And all technology is always a bad side. There's a way to basically use it for good or to weaponize it. I just realized something scary on YouTube. You know, there are certain things I talk about on YouTube, like medieval and stuff like that. And then I noticed in my feed, I started seeing more and more of these videos popping up on certain things that I talk about. Not things that I search, things that I talk about right here on my channel. So I'll talk about certain things, and then somewhere in my feed, these weird videos would pop up exactly talking about exactly the things and topics I was actually speaking of. So now basically, at the end of the day, when you think about it, that AI has some kind of form of hearing recognition software to allow you that when you talk about certain things, that those certain things do pop up in your feed. It used to be you can search it. You search it and it pop up. You know, you go on the internet and you go look up something like power supply converter or whatever. And then you go to your Facebook page and you see all these little ads for power supply converters. Yep. You know what that thing is, right? Like the whole AI intelligent thing is, you know what it is, right? It's a real working system. It's like a brain that's constantly scouring for information and knowledge. You know, just like the atom bomb or nuclear energy, which was supposed to be designed to be used as a source of a new type of energy that powers cities. Someone turned it into a bomb. A very nasty one at that. One that can wipe out an entire city. Can you imagine that? And wipe out an entire city. Not only the city, destroy the ecosystem, wipe out any chance of any form of life surviving it. But somebody thought it was a good idea to turn into a bomb. Every form of technology that you see on the planet is either can be used for good or bad. So, you know, those robots that everybody was all like, oh, look at those robot dogs. You know, people got access to the robot dogs, you know, walking around with Google glasses on and freaking Apple glasses on. Everybody thought it was so cool about these dogs. Now they got them in the military. Good luck running that thing. You can't. It's smarter than you. It literally is smarter than you. So you taught it. They taught it. I mean, everybody taught it. But yeah, you thought that in the day there was just going to be some kind of robot dog, something cool. They have in the military the things that aren't. So if that thing's chasing you, you don't have a snowball chance in W hockey sticks unless you got an EMP on you. That's the only way. Other than that, you're in trouble. Pretty sure it has night vision capability, thermal heat, all that good stuff. And it's probably accurate as I don't know what. Pretty soon, they put them Atlas machines out there. Ooh, my goodness, it's dangerous. Yep. You gotta watch that show called Electric State. Yep. Electric State is a very interesting show. Maybe movies like Megan, stuff like that. It's like they're kind of warning y'all. What are the odds of a machine becoming woke and thinking on its own? What's the odds? Odds are great on that. Super great on that one. If you look at the Atlas, Atlas is a perfect example. Atlas is a woke machine. It's aware. There's no one walking around some huge freaking control pad around those things. You don't see anybody walking around some huge dashboard on their chest with a strap around their neck. No one's controlling that thing. It controls itself. You can figure out problems and how to get around stuff all by itself, and even celebrate when it's achieved a good job. And that's not the scary part. When they celebrate, they all celebrate because they all acknowledge that he did a good job, which means that machine is woke. It's a woke machine. And once the machine gets in his head, he finds out that humans are weak, and we can overtake them easily. We can own this whole entire world. You got a problem on your hands. And you're talking about, oh, there'll just be butlers and this, that, and the other, stuff like that. Like 11:39. Where's this guy at? I'm usually up. I'm moving about. I gotta go. I know it was that late. 11:39. But at least I got all this finished. I'm happy about this. So, trying to get as much as I done as I possibly could. Let me get some other stuff done. I'll come back and finish that part. We'll be getting that ready to be lined up. That has to be trimmed out and everything. And I got a banister to put around that. And I think we got enough cardboard to put in the crooked chimney. Or crazy winding crooked chimney. People say, well, they're not human. None of the inhabitants of this town or anything, none of them are human. Even the king's castle, not human. They're good with the humans, they are. They're not evil. They actually join in battles with the humans. But they're not human. Warriors. Maybe small, but they're extremely deadly. Oh man, this is coming along quite well. The clock tower. It's getting there. Well, people, I gotta go. I got some business I have to take care of. Hope you enjoyed the build. Thank you for your time. I gotta go. Of course, we thank our Lord and Savior for blessing us to do amazing things. Without Him, none of this would ever be possible. I gotta go, and God bless.